1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has called for strictly observing the standard operating procedures against coronavirus on Eid al-Azha. The President has urged the medical universities to focus on nursing programs to meet the shortage of nurses. The government has decided to open educational institutions from September 15th, putting in place proper guidelines to check the pandemic. 3,359 new coronavirus cases have surfaced, with 61 deaths across the country during the last 24 hours. Pakistan and the United States have underscored the need for enhancing cooperation in the field of education. The United Nations has urged the Indian government again to conduct a prompt and impartial investigation into the allegations of arbitrary killings and torture committed in occupied Kashmir. In the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has appealed to the nation to celebrate Eid al-Azha with simplicity and by strictly observing the standard operating procedures against coronavirus. He was talking to the media after inaugurating an isolation hospital and infectious treatment centre in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister warned that carelessness on the occasion of Eid al-Azha will lead to a fresh spike in coronavirus cases. He expressed satisfaction that the curve of coronavirus cases in the country is on the decline, and it is because of the cooperation of all the departments concerned. He said smart lockdowns have yielded positive results. Commending the completion of a modern isolation hospital in record short period, Imran Khan said important tasks can be completed with political will. Earlier, the National Disaster Management Authority Chairman, Lieutenant General Mohammad Afzal, briefed the Prime Minister about the isolation hospital. The 250-bed state-of-the-art isolation hospital has been constructed in record 40 days at a cost of about 980 million rupees. The Governor Sindh Imran Ismail called on the Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. They discussed the overall situation in the province with focus on Corona situation and matters pertaining to K Electric and Sindh. In order to resolve the issues related to K Electric, the Prime Minister directed the Federal Minister Asad Umar, Special Assistant Shehzad Qasim, and the Governor Sindh to meet the K Electric administration as soon as possible. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has urged the medical universities to focus on nursing programs by increasing the number of nursing students so as to meet the shortage of nurses. The President gave these directions while chairing the Senate meeting of Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Medical University at the Evan-e-Sadr today. The President asked the medical universities to improve the quality and standard of medical education to make it attractive for foreign students. The President said medical universities need to focus on research and produce quality medical graduates to effectively combat the challenges like COVID-19. The government has decided to reopen educational institutions from the 15th of September with observance of standard operating procedures against COVID-19. The Minister for Federal Education and Professional Training, Shafqat Mahmood, made the announcement at a press conference in Islamabad today. He said the federal government will formulate standard operating procedures and share them with the provincial governments. However, the provincial governments will be authorized to close institutions if they violate the standard operating procedures. Shafqat Mahmood said the educational institutions can open their administrative offices and call teachers. The universities can allow their PhD students to do research at the laboratories in a limited number and permit students to live in hospitals with third-tier occupancy and strict standard operating procedures in place. The minister said institutions can conduct examinations spanning maximum 4 days with standard operating procedures from the second week of July. He said the government will monitor the implementation of SOPs. There has been an improvement in the number of those recovering from COVID 19 in Pakistan, with the figure now reaching 145,311. According to the National Command and Operations Centre, the number of active COVID cases in the country is now 90,554. 3,359 people were tested positive, while 24,333 tests were conducted over the last 24 hours. The death toll has reached 4,983. 61 people lost their lives due to coronavirus during the last 24 hours. Out of 1,568 ventilators allocated for COVID 19, 435 are occupied across the country. The number of coronavirus cases across the world has surpassed over 12,204,955, while the pandemic has so far claimed more than 552,934 lives. The United States tops both in the number of cases and deaths with over 3.159 million cases and more than 134,884 deaths, followed by Brazil with over 1,719,660 cases and more than 68,089 deaths. Over 7,097,435 million patients have so far recovered from the infection across the world. This is Radio Pakistan. The World Health Organization says it is setting up an independent panel to review its handling of COVID-19 pandemic and the response by the governments. This was stated by WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus during a virtual meeting with representatives of World Health Organization's 194 member states. The panel would provide an interim report to an annual meeting of health ministers being reconvened in November. The National Assembly was informed today that 1 million rupees each has been provided to the bereaved families of the private security guards martyred in the terrorist attack on the Karachi Stock Exchange. Responding to a calling attention notice of Nusrat Wahid today, the Parliamentary Secretary for Interior Shaukat Ali Khan said one policeman was also martyred in the terrorist attack and his family has been provided Shohada assistance package. The Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Ali Muhammad Khan laid before the House the annual report of the Universal Service and Research and Development Fund of the federal government. The annual report of the National Economic Council for the financial year 2018-2019 was also laid before the House. Pakistan and the United States have underscored the need for enhancing cooperation in the field of education. Taking part in an online discussion on Pakistan-US educational cooperation in Washington, Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Dr. Asad Majid Khan, highlighted that education has been the brightest spot and glorious chapter in Pakistan-US bilateral relations. The Pakistan envoy emphasized the need for continued cooperation in the educational domain. In occupied Kashmir, veteran Hurriyat leader Sayyid Ali Gilani has hailed the overwhelming response shown by the people of Jammu and Kashmir to his call for the strike on the fourth martyrdom anniversary of prominent Kashmiri youth leader Burhan Muzaffar Wani. In a series of tweets today, Sayyid Ali Gilani said the support to the shutdown call had again proven that the resolve of the Kashmiri people to liberate their homeland from the Indian occupation remained alive and unwavering. On the other hand, the United Nations Special Rapporteurs have made public their third communication forwarded to India since 5th of August 2019, when Narendra Modi-led fascist government repealed the special status of occupied Kashmir and placed the territory under military siege. The United Nations urged the Indian government to conduct a prompt and impartial investigation into the allegations of arbitrary killings, torture, and ill treatment, and to prosecute perpetrators under Article 6 and of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights and Articles 7 and 12 of the Committee Against Torture. The United Nations has urged all the leaders to choose the clean energy route for three vital reasons, namely health, science, and economics. The United Nations chief Antonio Guterres made the appeal in a video message to the virtual International Energy Agency Clean Energy Transition Summit in Geneva. He said this is more important than ever in the coming months as companies, investors, and countries make big financial decisions about the future. The 53rd death anniversary of Madre Millat Muhtarma Fatima Jinnah was observed with reverence and solemnity across the country today. She was the younger sister of the founder of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. She died in Karachi on this day in 1967. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and humid weather is expected in most southern and central parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain and wind thunder showers are expected in Upper Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Islamabad, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.